out of that.
A while ago, you talked about you didn't see any opportunity. But then that's the vision of a good striker. And he saw all of that and knew that the goalkeeper wasn't in his line. There was an opportunity to chip goalkeeper Steve Glodino. He almost did it. But wonderful thinking, brilliant thinking on the part of
a duo. And he was quite some distance. That's the Beninois footballing legend, Omar Chomogo. Just 39 years of age. And he is already coach of this team. He started out as the assistant in 2015 when Benin failed to qualify. Benin have actually not qualified for any edition of the Championship for African Nations. Good turn that time, but foul given away again by Ifeanyi.
Talking about Chomogo, when they qualified for their first Nations Cup in 2004, well, this time we have a card. Ifeanyi finally walked his way into the referee's bad books for that ungentlemanly conduct.
He's really been very visible in this encounter, giving away quite a few passes, but also being precise with some of them. But that time, he got his knee in the midsection of Fasino. Painful.
Afiz Aremu is another player who does that for this team. But unfortunately, Afiz is not on the pitch today, but was on the pitch last week during the first leg. Perhaps in time to come, Ifeanyi might just give way for Afiz, having copped a yellow card. And we just saw a player who hasn't had the best of times today, talking about Elkanemi's Matthias Samuel. A few passes he's put astray. That notwithstanding, a brilliant footballer he is on his day.
A brilliant footballer he might be, but he's giving away a free kick in a dangerous position. Can the Squirrels take advantage? They might be called the Squirrels and the Super Eagles, might be Eagles, but as has been shown from the first leg, Squirrels do cause harm. And Nigeria goes away now on the counter-attack. It's 2 against 3. Osasokoro joining the attack, but trying to go all alone. Eventually, he gets a free kick. That's Stephen Ode, who did a smart thing, tried to take it through the middle of 2 defenders, and they had to do the needful.
Stephen Ode, they're not clever enough. Perhaps he thought he'd done enough to get the ball past Gaston Hongbeji, but Gaston sort of impeded Ode's movement. As a result, conceding a free kick just in front of the 18, about 22 yards from goalkeeper Steve Glodino's goal line. And let's see if Rabiu Ali could weave this in, or it would be a blaster from Chima Akas.
But I mean, those are 2 of the 3 candidates there. Osasokoro has been known to score them direct from that distance. Everyone keenly waiting to see what will happen. None more than Steve Glodino, who's been beaten once today. If this second goal goes in, believe me, it will raise the roof, because that will put Nigeria ahead on aggregate. Bending over the wall is the crucial part of this, and this is Osas into the wall. I thought that was into somebody's hand there, but referee Wakine Sono deciding there was nothing doing there. And that's Rodriguez holding off Akas. Akas is yet to command the left side of that Nigerian attack.
Not at all. A lad who showed so much promise some 2 years ago, but I mean, he's been quiet ever since. Where the potential has gone to, I simply do not know. But he's got it in him to hit pile drivers with that left foot of his.
Trying to do it a bit too quickly. And where eventually he gets it to Al-Hassan Ibrahim, but didn't want to commit a foul, so he quickly allowed the ball to go. That is easy. And the ball played forward, but too far away, too far forward from Stephen Ode. Al-Hassan also could have received the ball, and he acknowledges the idea behind the pass, and that will be a free kick to that is of course Dine, that's the captain, I beg your pardon, Sebu Mama. He got the goal in the first leg. A backbreaker it turned out to be at that time.
That was schoolboyish on his part. That ball was never in any dangerous position. The center circle, all he had to do was just let it go. But he decided to handle the ball, cuddle the ball more like a goalkeeper, not leading by an example in that occasion, Mama Shaibu.
Benin. That was sweetly done by Akas to get rid of his man. And he successfully as well gets rid of the ball. Great skill on the touchline. That's by Stephen Ode, but ball went out of play before he brought it back in. And he just doesn't score goals, does he? He does have an eye, you know, for the pass as well, and he does handle the ball nicely.
He's a player who feeds off the clever passes of other attackers. He does it well in Lagos alongside Olatubosun, but Olatubosun is on the bench today. But if given an opportunity, he keeps probing and probing until he finally strikes the net. That's how he managed to have, you know, conspired to have scored 16. We saw him trying to weave the ball. Unfortunately, the entire circumference of the ball went off the line. No surprises, the referee called back for a drawing against Stephen Ode.
Well, initially, it did look good seeing him have that skill to get beyond the two men in the first place. But just his momentum carried him out of the pitch. And the officials saw that. So Benin, that is the hard man's job done on Degnon Kogbo by Emmanuel Ariwa. Lots of Beninois playing in the Nigeria Professional Football League. This championship for African nations is for players playing only in their domestic league. If not, the Beninois players in Nigeria would have been eligible. The likes of Isaac Lute, there's Antonino Usu, there's Solomon Jr., and of course several others more. There's Patankono as well at Aqua United, all Beninois players. This is a free kick in a dangerous position, and it is Rodriguez Fascino. He has a shot on him, and he decides to chip to the edge of the 6-yard of the penalty box. But a succession of wayward headers eventually ending in Nigeria putting the ball upfield. That's a free kick. Again off Sebu Mama. He's got to be careful.
If I is quick thinking, and that free kick for the Super Eagles off the hand of Captain Mama Shebu, who's not having the best of games here as a captain. He's been able to walk himself into the referee's bad books as in a yellow, and on this occasion, yet again handling the ball. Seems to be very generous as regards handling this ball here today.
He's got to be careful, as is Ifani, who's also booked. I don't think I've seen too many wayward balls from Samuel Matias. There should be an opportunity, but he's offside. Kingsley Eduo. He was really trying to sort his feet out, but the flag had long gone up.
Now, if the Eagles are to score another goal, they need to try these short passes of theirs, as you see on this occasion again. There you see Kingsley Eduo generously being in an offside position and easily picked out by AR1 on this occasion.
That's Jose Antonio Andewe, also from Equatorial Guinea. The 4 officiating officials here from Equatorial Guinea, with the match commissioner Luleseged Begasho Asfor from Ethiopia. Nigeria tried to build again, but beautifully laundered by the Beninois defense. That should be a free kick, and it is. That's Degnon Kogbo. Kogbo has been I mean, he's a very mobile footballer, and he does know how to get advantages like set pieces for his side.
Yeah, but check on this question by Emmanuel Ariwachiku. You know, Emmanuel sticks to him like white on rice. He's not been able to move. I like the tact marking on the part of the Super Eagles players. But should you leave these players, they could be deft and could be dangerous.
That's what the players are supposed to be, deft and dangerous. And that's ball gets beyond a cast. An opportunity to turning left and right, and that is the right thing done, if you ask me, by Rabiu Ali. he didn't know what was behind him, and he elected for the safety of touch. Corner kick, the first to Benin Republic. After 40 minutes of action, just 5 minutes of the halftime break. Corner driven, can't clear. Ali, who gets the ball, hoops it away from danger. Can Nigeria build anything from this counter-attack? Ali received the pass, and all he needed was a return pass. But Samuel Matias, who is having a horrible first half so far, could not control. Is it? Can Nigeria finish what they thought they had started? A minute ago, but Ali dallied on the ball too long, and the chance went a-begging again.
Ibrahim Ogolola. We see Imama Makabo, the assistant coach, talking to his senior partner there, Salisu, about the lads. They don't need to put on more pressure. Remember, the game is still tied at 1-1. Those short passes of theirs might just earn them a result as Salu goes the ground. But if we felt it was fair play. After 40 minutes, it's still 1-0 in favor of the home base Eagles. The goal scored 21st minute by no other person than homeboy, Rabiu Ali, the man they've nicknamed Pelé in this city.
Ali is an absolute veteran, and that's the ball chipped forward, and the goalkeeper comes and fails to get there. Just no Nigerian head or leg waiting to connect. Could have been two, but the diving action of the goalkeeper put off the run of Edouard. He could have been the receiving end there, and now skillfully off. Osas Okoro throw in, but that should have been two, Mike.
That really should have been two, but there was so much power in that pull out there by Chima Akas. Edouard couldn't get there on time. But good work on the part of Godino. His attempt at saving it put off the attacker.
There the Nigerians go again, and the referee, yeah, he saw that. It was a foul on Ode, great running from the MFM attacker, and the man who is at fault is Nabil Yaro. He's trying to protest his innocence, but he knows he's guilty as sin. He knew exactly what he was doing because Ode had the run on him.
Trust footballers, they know how to commit an offense and feign innocence. In fact, they swear to you that they were never close to the ball. That was what we saw Nabil Yaro do there. He, unsportsmanlikely, pushed Ode aground and yet raised his hand in defense as if he didn't know where Ode came from.
You could see that he knew exactly what he was doing. Ode, great even without the ball. He sees open spaces and he creates the opportunities for his teammates. Is this going to be a cast? Yes! And that's kept just off inside the inside of the post. It was a superb effort from the set piece. Everyone here thought that was going to nestle on the opposite side of the net. But they were very, very lucky indeed. The Squirrels, that was a superb strike from the Enyimba left back. It's what he does bring to this team.
You know, I've been waxing lyrical about his famous left foot. We just saw a little bit of it on this occasion. Now look at the run up to the ball. And he whacked it with that famous left foot. Now goalkeeper Steve Gladner just died for diving's sake. The ball hit the upright, across goal, and out it went. Would otherwise have been talking about the second goal in this encounter, Casey.
And it would have been a fantastic one because Steve Glodgenon, he actually went on a full dive there and he couldn't get there. Just the ball beat the keeper, but could not beat the post. Header by Okoro, who gets the return pass. They loses possession to Benin, eventually recoups it and promptly loses it again. Deknon. Nigeria again. It is a duo. He gets past his man beautifully. Into the 18 and walks, and that was very close indeed. I don't think the Beninois defender knew what was happening there. The ball came off the back of his foot. Great skill shown by a duo to get in between them. But Yaro eventually, luckily seeing the ball cannon off his boots and into the grateful gloves of Steve Glodgenon. Rabiu Ali. Ifan Osas lifts it behind. And Going through the back of the Benin player is the goal scorer, Rabiu Ali. And he gets booked for his troubles. The home fans love him. He is their talisman when he plays for Kano Pillars. And they are not happy that he's been booked just 1 minute before the halftime break. 2 Nigerian players on a booking, Ali and Ifani. The man booked for the Beninois is the captain, Sebo Mama. An almost full house at the Sani Abacha Stadium. Those are players of Kano Pillars, the team that owns this ground. As you see, confirmation there that we will have just 60 seconds to be added at the end of the first 45. Al Hassan finds a duo out on the left this time. And he plays the ball in there, but the run of Ibrahim couldn't yield much. But a duo recruits possession for Nigeria. And it's a chance and another strike, but this time over the top from Rabiu Ali. He has this burst of speed, and he can turn on a 9-pence and shoot with hardly any backlift. That time, a little too much backlift, got his foot underneath, and the ball flew wide over the top. And that's it as far as the first half is concerned at the Sani Abacha Stadium. It's been a half largely dominated, as you would expect, by the home side, the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They could have had more than the 1 goal scored by this man, Rabiu Ali, in the 22nd minute. That's Super Eagles A-team coach, Gernot Rohr, the Franco-German, as they call him. He's been with this team. The player coming on is Gaston Hongbeji. He's been substituted, and Jules Lebede, the Nigerian-sounding name, is coming on to take his place.
Well, it's not new. We know of a lot of players of Nigerian descent. You mentioned tons of them in the first half, just like Emmanuel Fabiyi, who also plays his local football here, could not get it. But then it does happen, as we see Elegbede Jules coming in. Let's see what his contribution will be, having taken the place of Gaston Hongbeji during the first 45 minutes.
Well, the second half has been started with the blast of the referee's whistle. This time around, it is Nigeria with the kickoff. Battle of attrition, you would expect in this second half. 2 players down on the turf, right in front of referee Wakine Sono from Equatorial Guinea. Benin Republic are looking for a first ever appearance in the Championship for African Nations, and Nigeria are looking for a 3rd straight. Ball heaved, knocked into the Nigerian half of the pitch. In terms of chances, the Beninois have hardly had a sniff. Goalkeeper Ike Chukwuezenwa has not had to make any save of note in this encounter. He knocks a long one and finds Stephen Ode. That's actually a duo, but the referee decides that the ball went out before it was brought back in by Kingsley Eduo.
I'm also of the opinion that Kingsley Eduo was a little like a discount on that occasion. He could have well kept that ball into play, but sort of dilly-dallied and wasted so much time before bringing the ball into play. Well, sort of he has made amends sort of on this occasion by winning back possession.
So Nigeria goes down the right, Rabiu Ali. That's actually goal for Nigeria. That was out of the blue. Simply smacked from long way away. He's been trying to do that all game. And the Lobby Stars man, Kingsley Eduo, has given Nigeria the all-important second goal here that puts them ahead. 2-0 today on the night and 2-1 on aggregate And it does appear like the Super Eagles are heading to Kenya. That was a superb header into the bottom corner, and nothing Glodgenon could do there.
Well, this kind of vindicates the selection of Coach Salisu Yusuf and Imama Makababo. What about that? He flung his entire frame at the ball and made sure he powerfully nodded it. Goalkeeper Glodgenon couldn't do much to stop Kingsley Eduo as the Lobby Stars goal poacher scores goal number 2 for Nigeria here today.
And that looks like setting Nigeria firmly on the way to the championship for African nations, unless the Beninois could cause them grief. And 2 players tumbling to the floor. The first of them, Samuel Matthias. A surprise to me that he still had to come out in the second half, because he really had an awful first half. Al-Hassan Ibrahim is making the point to referee Osono that he was elbowed, that you could see there by Degnon Kokbo.
Yes, Degnon Kokbo was very generous with his elbow on that occasion. He gave Matthias Samuel a dose of it. And Matthias, who's been the grafter here today, went aground, but he's a very tough lad. I'm not surprised he's up on his feet as we see goalkeeper. As we are backing out instructions at his players. A captain who leads by example.
Despite that elbow, it is the Beninois who have the free kick. And the man standing over it is Seydou Mama. He got the only goal in that first. It's a one-man wall enough. He swings it to the far post, but the header will knock it out of the 18-yard box for Nigeria. In fact, it was a Beninois head, and Nigeria will get themselves a throw-in.
The transformation of Osaso Okoro from an attacking winger into a winger beats me. He just took to it like white on rice. A marauding wing back he sort of become. That's marvelous conversion there on the part of Coach Imama.
Absolutely fantastic. I think they simply continued from where Rangers International of Enugu stopped, because that was where he was first converted. It was Imama, like you mentioned, who did it. The national team had last well, why don't we continue? Remember, Ifeanyi George on the bench also did a similar thing for Enyimba, before he went to Rangers and was restored back up front.
Where he has distinguished himself very well, effectively, with goals in the second stanza of this league, talking about Ifeanyi George.
In fact, if the champions actually escape the relegation, you can see that they really do a whole lot of stuff voodoo-wise, the Beninois fans, and there you see their talisman with a pot of juju. That looks like a true run and goal for Stephen Ode, but Oduo has been fouled offside, and that's Carlos Tutumu, the assistant referee 2, who caught the Lobby Stars man offside. It was goal. For now, looking like it could fire Nigeria all the way to Kenya next year.
It looks like it, but I'm beginning to see, the attack. He uses his body. Look at how he shielded the defender there, waiting for Ode to feed off the ball. Now that's how you play African football. One big man and a small man alongside him.
Great observation. And the Beninois, really, they're struggling to really string together any, to hang on to any meaningful possession. The Nigerians are not letting them. That's one great thing I will have to say for Samuel Matthias. Even though he's not had too many useful touches, one thing is he harries you. He doesn't let you relax in possession. There is he on the ball. And this time, again, he found Al-Hassan, and it is Ariwa. Rabiu, back to Stephen Eze. Great recovery from Al-Hassan. Fantastic football. Good skill by the Akwa United midfielder.
There's some continuity. Al-Hassan Mwazam, alongside his fellow midfielder Ifeanyi, were a member on the 20 national team, where Ifeanyi Nwobodo was a member. Injury, a combination of injuries and other factors made some of them not attend the Under-20 World Cup. Ifeanyi did make it, but Mwazam did not make it. Nwobodo did not make it too out of injuries. But the good thing about all of this is that all of them are marshalling their way to the Super Eagles, alongside Ndidi, who today plays for Leicester.
Dine Kupere shoved powerfully off the ball by Kingsley Eduo. What you've got to give Eduo, he is solid on the ground. I mean, he's so well built and built like a tank. To shield him off the ball is quite a job. But if he's the one needing to shield you, he does it effortlessly, more or less.
That's the essence of this game. And that was what the likes of Didier Drogba and Rashidi Yekini benefited from playing football in Africa. Use your massive frame to your advantage, and the duo had doses of it here today.
But Nigeria might be 2-0 up here, but you would think they need the breathing space and the insurance of a third goal. Again, the ball given away by Samuel Matthias, because if the Beninois were to pull a goal back here, then Nigeria runs the risk of being eliminated on the away goals rule. So a third goal, absolutely important.
Definitely important. They got an insurance goal. Now I think these Beninois are very generous with their hands. On this occasion, we saw Jules Elegbede generous with his elbow yet again. But the referee has been very, very lenient, in my opinion, with them and their free-flying hands.
That's a new one of me, free-flying hands. I tend to like that, Mike. Yeah, they've really been putting those hands. A superb skill by Kingsley Eduo. Lifts the defender for dead, and he tips it. It's just unfortunate that the final ball there was not the right one. Great skill earlier showed by Eduo. Got the fans standing.
Kingsley has sort of matured. It's sort of like wine. He's becoming better with age. Look at the ease, the skill with which he oozed that ball. And that's the big man. What about this? Practically lifted that ball off Nabil Yero and left him in his wake.
Yero wouldn't want to see that replay. They made him walk out of him.
And that's enough to decamp a player.
That was in those days, I guess, Mike.
Very true.
Matthias should be my #1 candidate if Nigeria wants to effect a change, as they try to go for a third goal here that will practically bury Benin Republic. That's curious attempt at clearance. Didn't come off for Benin Republic. That's how it's done. Rabi Ali shows him. Ifeanyi chips, looking for Al-Hassan Ibrahim, but it is behind. It's actually Osaze Okoro pushing his man out of the way, and the referee says play on. Al-Hassan Ibrahim with an opportunity on the edge of the area, and Nigeria is still keeping it alive through Okoro. He tries to cross, but it is charged down, and Beninois, they come off with it. They really just can't counter, because everywhere they look, they see green shirts. That scares them, and they keep going back towards their own goal, and that's where Nigeria wants them to be.
Very true, and it shows how fit and athletic the Nigerian Eagles are. You know, they've practically covered everywhere on this pitch. They are not stagnant. However, in all of this, referee has sort of stopped the game because one of them is down, and the referee is telling Ode that, listen, let's bring you up, as Ode is now up. I admire your fitness level. Speaks much about the work they put into this game.
But to be honest, some of these players, several of them have played for the men Super Eagles team, the one that is taking part in the African Cup of Nations qualifiers for 2019 in Cameroon. You can see the scoreline there. Nigeria 2, Benin goals from Rabiu Ali, and of course Kingsley Eduo after 47 minutes. That's a forward ball now. It's an opportunity for Eduo. He's got to play as a bit. He decides to chip for Ode, but that's was not well done. He might be good at getting the balls in behind the goalkeepers, but in terms of the assist, I don't think that's his strong point.
The shot could have done better than what he did there. There were many options. He mustn't have attempted to give it to Stephen Ode on that occasion. But even like that, he could have done that a lot better.
Well, I thought he was going to switch it, into a reverse pass on the ground for Ode. Chipping it up there, it was always going to be 50-50, and Ode couldn't get any purchase on the ball. That's the Beninois substitute, Jules Elegbede, who gets a throw. Rodriguez Fascino, it is, but that's a foul by Ifeanyi. Ifeanyi's got to be careful. That's what the referee is telling him. He's been on a yellow card since the first half, and they pulled down his opposite number, Ibrahim Ogolola, that time.
But football is a physical game. It's a contact sport, and Ifeanyi is trying to be as fair. For me, that's one of the greatest imports. Before now, he wasn't this physical, but in the last 12 months, he added that physicality into his game.
That looks dangerous. He had to be cut out, and was eventually by Chima Akas. It took a deflection and was bouncing rather dangerously towards the edge of that 6-yard box, but Aka stuck out that is left foot and put it into touch. That's the third corner now for Benin Republic. They've not done anything with the first two. Can they produce something to be talked about with this latest set piece?